All right, what's going on, guys? It's Justin Wayne back with another video. Today, we're going to be discussing XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, along with the new strategic crypto reserve that the U.S. plans on opening. So, without further delay, let's get into the video. Let's watch this short clip from CNBC.
Announcing the creation of a strategic crypto reserve. Mackenzie Sagalas joins us now with all the details. Mackenzie, it's interesting because in this Truth Social post over the weekend, he cited his January executive order, and that seemed to ignite the rally.
No, it did, and this is really building upon what he said in January. He says that this new national crypto reserve will include Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a trio of high volatility tokens, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. He's calling it a move to elevate the industry.
All right. So, in addition to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, they're going to add Solana and Cardano. So, a strategic reserve is basically the government's just going to start holding these assets. They're going to get permission to start buying up these assets. Why is that a good thing? It's a good thing because you have large institutions, for one. Now you have the government coming into the sector. So large institutions is one thing. BlackRock, Bank of America, Blackstone, all these big institutions, the guys who move the money, the banks, they saw the value in it. They're seeking to hold cryptos, certain cryptos. Now the government is coming into the sector. Whenever the big institution and government comes into a sector, there's a level of safety that comes along with it. Because they're big guys. They want to make sure their money is not going to get stolen. It's not going to get taken. Their accounts aren't going to get locked out of, meaning that we'll be able to transact safer. Maybe it'll start getting a little cheaper. But when the government and big institutions move in, oftentimes, guys, that's a green flag. However, a lot of cryptos, the biggest thing that they were, the selling point of cryptos were when everything barely came out, was decentralization. No one's going to control my money. Well, guess what? They don't have to control your money. Well, they can control how you move it, how you spend it. I still believe in cryptos. I believe cryptos are going to be some good assets. But understand why you're getting into it, guys. Understand why you're investing in what you're investing in. But just a quick pro and con over strategic reserves.
After what the president described as years of corrupt attacks under the Biden administration. Now, unlike traditional reserves of gold, petroleum, or grain, commodities accumulated for strategic security, this reserve would more closely resemble an active portfolio of speculative assets. The shift in language from stockpile to reserve also suggests the U.S. may actively acquire and manage cryptocurrencies rather than just holding seized tokens. Now, the crypto market, coming off its worst month since 2022, reacted.
So, real quick, too. Notice how she said they switched from the phrasing stockpile to reserve. From stockpile to reserve. That means that when they change the language of it, they're trying to make it seem a little more friendly. The government just wants an excuse to be able to buy up some of these assets. They see the crazy returns we're getting in crypto. Taxing it is not enough. They realize they have to be involved in it. So that's just one thing. Whenever, what we call it now, the Department of Defense, that's what we call it, Department of Defense. It used to be called the Department of War. So sometimes you got to change up the terminology just to make it sound a little more sexy, to make it sound a little more appealing. But guys, you have to look deeper than the words. They're not doing it for our benefit. They're not stacking crypto so we can be better off. They're stacking crypto for the government. And if it is for the betterment of the country, how are they going to use crypto assets to benefit the country? You have to think about things like this. Because if they're not stacking crypto to benefit us, the people, what are they stacking it for? I mean, is it an investment to go towards new things in the country, schools, roads? You know, I like going back to this because, you know, you like to see your money spent on tangible things, like an actual plan. I don't know. It's a start. But, they changed the wording of it just to make it sound more appealing, from stockpiling to a reserve. I think it's funny they did that.
Instantly. Bitcoin and Ethereum surged over 10%, while Cardano spiked as much as 70%. Now, prices are coming back down, but still, we're seeing investors getting back into long positions. And attention now really turns to Friday's first ever White House Crypto Summit, where the president, along with his crypto czar, David Sachs, regulators, and industry leaders will talk next steps. We'll be watching to see whether the president shares a buying strategy or plans to push this through without congressional approval. Melissa?
The best buying strategy is the dollar cost average. Buy what you can when you can, right? Every week, put $5. Every 2 weeks, every month. Just make sure you're putting something when you can. And just buy over time. The prices are going to be up, down, all around. Just make sure that you're buying over time, quality assets. And then you won't have to worry. The government's going to be doing the same thing. It's kind of like Michael Saylor. No matter what the price of Bitcoin is, Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin. The government's going to be the same way. There's no real good price of some of these assets. A lot of things are overpriced, but there's not any real set price on some of these assets. And the way crypto's set up right now, you want to get in sooner rather than later. And you want to buy only in the top 10. I wouldn't touch anything outside of the top 10. I don't chase meme coins. I don't do any of these coins. There's been so many coins. There's thousands of different cryptos. I stick to the top 10. Stock market, we stick to the Mag 7 or the top 10 companies, because there's a few companies that are also knocking out the park outside the Mag 7. But you want to stick with the ones that work, right? Bitcoin, people has been saying Bitcoin is expensive for years, and it continues to go up. It don't matter. Wherever you put your money, 10% is 10%. But you want to put in an asset that has potential to go beyond 10%, which typically are the top ones. So, they might look a little expensive, but it's not about having all of it. It's about having a share. Get your slice of the pie, guys.
Interesting that the notion of an active portfolio, Mackenzie, because then, of course, somebody needs to be hired to manage this. So you've got a portfolio manager for crypto under the authority of the U.S. government.
And that's one of the biggest concerns here, that the government would be picking favorites. And yes, the choice of Cardano and Solana came as a bit of a surprise. But at the end of the day, these 5 tokens that are in this reserve are on the top 10 market cap list. And Cardano and Solana.
There you go. She just said that they're picking them at random, and then said they're picking the ones in the top 10. Guys, invest in the top in the space. They're at the top for a reason, right? You look at stocks and they be like, it's too expensive, I don't want it. You look at cryptos and be like, it's too expensive and I don't want it. But when you're car shopping, you're not gonna get in that what? You're not gonna get in a Honda Civic because you can afford it and leave the Benz alone if you have the option. Most of the time, you're gonna go get that Benz. It's a little more expensive, but the quality's better, right? It means something. People see Benz and that's a status symbol, right? Benz is gonna continue to outperform because people see Benzes and they associate it with a certain thing. They associate it with being the best, even if they're not the best cars on the market, because some of those cheaper cars will run a little better. But there's reasons why people are willing to spend more money on a Ferrari or a Lambo or something like that, because it's more rare, right? If you spend money on these places, on these companies that are not as quality, you're not going to get the amazing returns that you could probably get holding anything outside, or the safety, right? So invest in the top 10, guys. Quit playing.
For faster and cheaper alternatives than Bitcoin and Ethereum with respect to facilitating payments. The president also has a connection to both of those blockchains. Solana is the blockchain that he used to build his meme token. Meanwhile, you've got XRP. Ripple is the team behind that token. They donated $5 million in the XRP token to Trump's inaugural fund. So he has ties to some of these tokens that we're seeing show up here.
Yeah. So XRP donated 5 million XRP to Trump. Shout out to Trump. I wonder how much that's gonna be worth in a couple years. So right now, guys, Bitcoin trading that.
Tom Lee,
Hold up!
co-founder,
Don't do me like
managing
that.
partner.
I don't want to hear nothing from Tom Lee. Regardless what the market looks like, Tom Lee's on like, just buy the dip. You know, markets are looking okay right now. Everything is really strong. Just buy the dip. He does that every time. The market could be bloody red, and he's saying buy the dip. Even though I agree, it's just kind of annoying. It's like having that optimistic parent. This too shall pass. I understand, Laura, but it's hurting right now. So Bitcoin trading at 92K over the weekend. It was trading at these like mid 80K, 85 level, you know, around there. Would have been a good time to pick it up. I think it's still a pretty good time to pick it up. Bitcoin is going to be around forever, guys. Bitcoin. Let's look at XRP. XRP trading around $2.65. I'll say this again. Yesterday it was trading at about $2.18. I picked some up. It was nice. I saw a nice 30% jump overnight. I picked some up at that level. I still think this is a good buying opportunity. These cryptos are starting to become more mainstream, guys. They're making a strategic crypto reserve. Get you a slice of the pie. Please get you a slice of the pie. My family was over the other day, yesterday, and we were all looking at our 401ks and retirement accounts. And I wish I would have brought this up, but crypto is not in retirement accounts, right? They're making a push. I wouldn't suggest for them to be in there because they're a little more speculative and they're crazy volatile, up and down. I don't think a lot of people in retirement accounts could stomach that. You'll see your account drop any like average 3 to 5K every day. Messing with cryptos, you'll probably see half of your returns get cleaned out overnight like this. You see this? But that's why they're long term. So I would recommend putting some money in on the side. Don't have it in your 401k, your main retirement source, but have it in your speculative investments. But always hold for the long term. All investments are speculative, but you have to hold for the long term. 1 to 5 years. Maybe 5 to 10 years. But a lot of people can't stomach that. Investing is not an overnight thing. You have to build that stockpile so massive that it pays you to leave it alone. Eventually, it'll pay you to leave it there. But guys, consider some of these assets: Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, Cardano. Those were on the list. Some on the list to be added to the strategic reserve. Crypto is becoming more mainstream. In 10, 15 years, who knows where it's going to be? I was talking to this with one of my coworkers the other day. Netflix used to send movies to the house. You used to could not stream online some movies. You couldn't stream them. You couldn't watch them online. You had to download it or you had to send it to the house. Downloading took forever back then. But you used to could only pick like 2 to 3 movies off of Netflix that they would send the DVDs to the house. Now you can just stream it. They don't even have the service where they send it to the house. But I say that to say people were saying Netflix was a fad. They were saying that Redbox was going to compete with Netflix. Redbox didn't even have a streaming service. These guys are selling DVDs at the corner store. Not knowing DVD players are on its way out. A lot of kids don't even know what that is. Might as well be a VHS right now. Some people don't know what that is. But I say that to say the technology's moving. In a couple years, they're not going to be sending DVDs to the house. They're going to be all streaming. People didn't see that coming. They thought Netflix was out. They're still thinking crypto, Bitcoin doesn't mean anything, right? Until it controls every aspect of their life. And they see it every day. And you can't watch something unless you get on Netflix because they're going to start having the live shows. They're going to create the markets where you have to go to them to conduct your business, to live your life. And that's what cryptos are eventually going to be. Once the government buys up all the assets, they're going to control those assets. How you attain them, how you get rid of them, the value of them. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. If you like the video, please give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'm Justin.